Well, hello there. This is Rihanna again. Welcome back to my channel. I am doing another round of trying this video because the first time there was a very audible clicking noise that I just blundered through and didn't realize it until editing. So, not to annoy anyone's stinking ears, I'm redoing this video. So essentially what I want to do with this video is I'm going to be testing out this quarter by doing a monthly reviews towards the end of the month. So like January, February, March, I want to do that, and then I want to move in and see how that takes, how I feel about it, and then from there I'll try a quarter, just a quarter review, not like each month, for in June, and then from there I'll kind of play it by ear. This year is just a big old trial game for me for reviewing the Artist of Life Workbook, the 2024 edition. Like I mentioned in my last video about this is, I think, like the 6th or 7th year that I've done this, and essentially I've done a review or two, either online. I did a workbook review for the first one briefly, and that's super way back on my channel, and literally I just did it all in one take and then uploaded it. And so I want to be a little more poignant, a little bit purposeful with how I want to move forward. Plus I want to actually, try this thing called YouTube, even though there are several people leaving the, YouTube space, which I totally get and respect. But I just want a creative outlet to try this year, which is one of my goals. So here I am for the month of January. It is January 29th as we speak, so we got essentially 2 days left of the month, and then we move into February. And so this will be my review. The month of January, essentially, just for a rundown, you can kind of hint at it in my last video and probably many others online, on top of Eileen's videos, who is the creator of this Artist of Life Workbook, Lavender. I'll link her channel down below, or like a video or something like that. I'll figure it out. But yeah, so essentially that's who made this, but she has some great resources and great, she's way better at this YouTube thing than I am. But yeah, so in my little bit of review, you could kind of see that was more setting it up, doing everything that I wanted to do for this year to set up for success. And so I won't exactly go over that in this video. I'm not sure if I'll do that in the future, kind of goals and stuff. But for January, some of my roundabout goals, just to give a hint at, I guess, a sneak peek of what some of the other content was for my last video, since that was just a little look with me, playing with me thing, is I want to continue being creative and try new things. For last year, for all of my creative efforts, I got into canvas painting, I got back into photography and digital editing. And for this year, I want to continue on that train, and I want to branch into, obviously, video editing, which is kind of me, playing around with YouTube, seeing, what feels right, what's good. Obviously, branching my expertise from, just picture editing into, video and content creation, stuff like that. Just so I have a little bit, something a little different to try, and maybe even stuff for, side projects, side hustles, that sort of stuff. That I have more experience, more ideas and stuff like that to pull from. And so that's a little bit of my goals this year, is continuing with interests and seeing what I like, what I don't like, what works and what doesn't work for me and my personality and what I just like to do as a person. The other thing that I'm doing this year is I'm trying to take my health a lot more seriously, both with like my eating and being more aware and conscious of what I eat and how I eat and the emotional ties that I have to eating, since that's something that I've struggled with a lot in my life, let alone the fact that just working out consistently, that's always been a really big struggle for me, on top of just being fit. I want to hone that in, and that's just a personal preference for me of, just family issues, genetics, that sort of stuff, and also just what I want to try and do and be in my life in the future. And I know that being a little bit more health conscious is going to be an asset for me with other things that I want to do. Obviously, things like just working and gardening and playing with future dogs that we have and other animals and stuff like that. I want to try to be in the best shape for as long as possible, since I am approaching my 30s. That's a real concern for me, is the fact that, like, how much longevity do I have, and what type of mobility do I have with, like, my joints and my muscles, let alone just, like, overall well-being. So those are some focuses that I have this year, and you'll see them play out, and you'll see them here in my review, and just kind of how I lay out the months in this workbook, and just what I strive to do from day to day and week to week and month to month. So yeah, essentially for an overview in the actual workbook, here I have a physical copy. Eileen does give a digital only version as well, but with me, I just do so well with having physical, like, tangible paper for some reason, and so I tend to buy the hard copy. And with the hard copy, at least every year that I've bought it, you also get a digital copy, so you can start working on it until the physical copy comes in the mail. So for the monthly, she lays it out after you do all the goal setting and reviewing of like previous year and where you want the year to look like and your future self. She breaks it down into a year at a glance, and then a quarter at a glance, essentially, and then breaks it down to the month. And then there's 3 pairs of pages, at least in the physical copy. So there's 6 total pages for each month that you can play around and work with the, essentially, hence workbook. You can play around and do different things and, try each of the little activities, or do all of them. My focus this year is doing, like, everything, every ounce of this workbook, and take advantage of the whole thing that I, did. Because in years past, and Eileen's even talked about this, that a lot of this can be a pick and choose sort of mentality and a pick and choose sort of endeavor for you. So you're not obliged to, do every ounce and fill every little, like, a minuscule little task. But remember, I can't exactly recall if I did everything in the first workbook that she released, but I know at least in the ones from, like, the second workbook till, like, this workbook that I've had, I haven't done everything, but this year I want to, like, do everything. I just want to really indulge in it. So this year, that's kind of like a little thing that I'm doing as well. So for January, the first pair of pages, I'll just read it off to you, because you can kind of see some of the previews if you go to Eileen's website, the shop.lavendare.com, and see some of the previews of the different pages and stuff like that. And if you're interested in me showing kind of what it looks like blank, because I don't want to dive too much into, like, some of the personal things, just because I'm a little bit more new to this and private. So, but if you want like what it literally looks like a little bit, just let me know in the comments, and then I can just share and let you have a sneak peek. But for January, my goal was bringing life and happiness. That was my little, like, 1-sentence blurb. My main goals for the month are planning out the garden, both for, like, recipes that I wanted to try and what stuff that I would need to grow or resource to try out the different recipes and stuff like that, because I do love cooking and I do like canning. I'm really getting into canning as well. I did I did a fair bit last year, and that was really cool. So yeah, the garden was just planning out the garden. Since I live in the Northeast, essentially it's like really cold for the first handful of months of the year. So I really gotta like plan out and see what season I need to start, because especially like tomatoes and peppers and a lot of that summer garden stuff needs a head start up here. So it's getting a lot of the head start on what varieties I want to grow, and what I need slash want for recipes I want to try, both for just hands-on cooking, let alone and regular like salads, eating that type of stuff. Try then, and also stuff that I want to can. What's good for like salsa making versus like tomato paste versus whatever I want to create. So having a good idea and grip on that, and then taking like inventory of what supplies I have and what seeds I have on hand and what I need to order. So that's one of the big things that I had for this month. And conquering this YouTube thing where I'm filming, I'm getting the courage to literally just come on here and talk and film and also edit because I really wanted to hone in on that edit thing, like I said earlier. Because I didn't want to just like keep trying to do the whole like one take and then upload it and then just like hoping that was good enough. I really want to take it like a lot more seriously, especially since I have like better equipment and stuff like that and better resources. And then some like minor goals of mine was just putting my fitness first, and by doing that it was more of just like the daily habits of it. And we had some like gym equipment that I wanted to set up in the basement in our little like gym area that I'm kind of like designating to, so I can like make sure that I can have different things that I can do to like, especially like I just said with the gardening thing. It's cold. We're in the winter time, so like I don't want to like go outside and try to work out outside, let alone like we don't have the finances at the moment and the wherewithal to go to a gym. So we're just taking stuff into our own hands, and just something about the privacy of your own home when you're first starting to work out. So those are my goals, and so that's essentially on the first page. The second one is the weekly breakdown, and there's 4 different blocks that you can that's broken into week 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so what I do is I usually, when I'm sitting down and setting up for the month, I'll have like the calendar app pulled up on my like iPad or something, and I'll kind of designate like a numbered date, and I'll jot down the days correlating. And that doesn't work out perfectly every time, but I'll like, for week 4, I have like days 21 through 31 for January. So it's kind of not exactly a week, but anyway. So I do that to break down what the goals are, and kind of just to get a better gestation of how to pace myself a lot better, because that is something that I seriously struggle with, is pacing myself and knowing what to do and how to better execute things. And the Artist of Life Workbook has just really helped me in that endeavor. Overall, even just like trying to conquer a year, maybe I have time blindness, I don't know, I don't know, I have something. And this magically works for me. I've tried other things, I've tried different styles of planning, I've just tried like regular calendar work, I've just tried note taking, I've tried digital planners, all that stuff, and something about this Artist of Life Workbook just scratches that itch for me. So on the following pages is a habit tracker and a daily tracker, and you have 10 different habits that you can track throughout the month on, and then it breaks it down via the day. So what mine looks like is, you can kind of see how it's like checkered out. This year I'm kind of going like color, because I like just the contrast of the different colors, and each month I'm going to be doing a different like pair of colors or set of colors. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with pairs, but I tried a little bit of it towards the tail end of last year, and I really liked it, doing colors versus just like black ink or pencils. So I'm doing colors this year, just make it really pop and be visually like something for me. And so that's a habit tracker, and I broke it down to like I have doing something YouTube related, whether it be like filming or uploading it to my computer, trying the software that's free, and just learn, watching other YouTube videos or reading articles on how to use like iMovie or other editing software. That's kind of my gist for like what counts as like checking out for YouTube today. But I got like reading, garden, journaling, something creative. If I'm working out, I put fitness because it's a little bit more broad spectrum for me. Working out isn't necessarily just like, oh, I'm like pushing weights. It's like, okay, am I being physically active? Am I doing like recovery, yoga? Am I doing something with my body, holistically speaking? And I'm a part of a couple different groups, and that really helps me to connect and assess my body and what my body needs. And so that's kind of fitness. It's almost like how I described YouTube, where it's like, okay, it's not just like one literal thing, it's more like a little bit of a broad spectrum thing. And then like hydration and language and that sort of stuff. So that's kind of what I have for the habits for this month that I wanted to be more conscious of. And then on my phone I have like a little reminder for it that like goes off like an alarm. It's not in my alarm app, it's on the literal iPhone reminders app. And it's set to like 9 or 9:30 every night, and it says like, hey, did you check off the workbook? And they'll make sure that I take everything off that I did that day. Because I usually am pretty good about checking them off as I do them, or like I'll do like 2 or 3 things and then check them off, but sometimes I don't like get around to it and I forget. So I'll do that. And then daily tracker, this is something new to me doing, and essentially how she describes it in the workbook is use the dotted graph below to track anything that you can rate from on a scale of 1 to 10. And her little tip is you can track multiple things with different colors, and that's what I'm doing for this month. And my three things, because I'm only doing 3 things for this month, was my anxiety level, my grief level, and my overall mental health. Because a lot of things happen around like the holidays for me, and I just really want to prioritize and see on a scale of like, okay, so I can correlate the days that I didn't do many of my habits and my mood was low. I can see kind of that correlation, and it's a little bit more introspective for me, which I really enjoy. And then the other page on this is the gratitude journal. So I've written down all that stuff, and that really helps you for the next set of pages, which are the review and reflections. And those are super helpful because you have quarterly reviews, half year review, and then obviously the end of year review that kind of like merges into the following year's Artist of Life Workbook. And having the monthly review and reflection is so cool and so important, and really helps a lot, especially when you're looking back, even for like nostalgic reasons, because I have the other Artist of Life workbooks, and sometimes I'll like pull them out just for nostalgia's sake and see like, oh, it's like what was it like 3 or 4 years ago, and what was I kind of doing, thinking, hoping, let alone if you're just like setting up your new workbook, like going through 2023 and even just flipping through these pages, let alone just like doing that, the earlier, what was 2023 like for you. It's really nice to, kind of see that progress and see where your mental space was and how you wanted to gauge and what you felt was important, and the highlights, and obviously the gratitude journal part. But yeah, so the one page is like January in one word, and then basically scoring yourself on a 1 to 10 scale on how you did on your goals and dreams, and accomplishing the steps that you want to do for your life. And then it gives you space for January highlights, which I kind of... January highlights and the gratitude journal are very similar for me in my brain. So I kind of pull from that a little bit. And then the other page is reflections, and you got 3 different boxes that you can fill out. The first one is, what did I learn this month? The second one is, what am I proud of? And then the last one is, how can I improve moving forward? And those are super helpful, especially the last one. And then obviously just like, how can I improve moving forward, and kind of where you are on where your progress is leading on for your dream life and goals and stuff like that. Really helps you move forward into like February, and then like especially like in March or April when you're turning the page for like the quarter or the mid-year. That sort of stuff really helps, and just obviously sounds so redundant. It really helps me a lot. This whole thing just really helps me a lot, and I enjoy like all of the activities. So a little bit, just for personal, thing to share a little bit of commentary, what I've written here. I'm really proud of the fact that I have, figured out iMovie enough to where I published my first video and edited it as well, and then obviously uploaded it. And then just continuing with like being more aware of my mental health and making sure that I'm not just self-loathing and my self-deprecation and let myself slide back into really old bad mental habits, and really growing and being able to focus and voice myself when I need the help and when I need just something. It can be an array of stuff, like if I need to take a step back on certain goals, if I'm doing too much, or if I'm not doing enough in certain areas where I know my health, especially my mental health, could really benefit. Like journaling is a really big thing for me. Getting outside when it's a little bit warmer really helps too. As much as I'm a homebody, going out for walks and stuff like that really helped me. Getting into nature, that sort of stuff. So I'm really, really proud of like those aspects that I've continued to do over January so far. Another thing, I've just continued learning with some of the books that I'm reading for like gardening content and language learning. Like I'm continuing on Duolingo, as cheesy as it is. Not sponsored, by the way, but like on Duolingo, I'm learning through Italian, and I started picking that up last year. So that's been really fun. Obviously, I learned iMovie this year for stuff that I've learned this month, because I knew a little bit of it, but I didn't know it like much. Like I knew how to open it and put like video into the feed, I guess you want to call it. But for actually like manipulating the video and stuff like that, I do like -5 things. So that's been really interesting. Things that I'm really proud of, and some highlights is I've made sure that I drink a lot of water. I've gotten really dedicated into my fitness journey and not being so scaredy cat of just working out and using my body, and being a lot more, kind of what I was alluding to earlier, I'm a lot more aware of like what I'm eating and why I'm eating it, because I would just absentmindedly eat. I'm not exactly a snacker, but I would just emotionally eat. So I'm really proud of being a lot more aware of that for me as well. So that's just kind of some like little highlights that I wanted to share. For stuff that I'd like to improve moving forward is to just continue working on consistency, both with regular habits, continuing with my fitness, and health alone. Keeping up with YouTube. I don't want to just like, I'll do 2 or 3 videos, upload them, and then just go like 6-8 months and never see YouTube again, and just be a Joe Schmo that takes 17 tries to, you know, execute something. But yeah, so that's my January in review, and with that in mind, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, whenever you see this, and I hope that this helps inspire you to kind of get some ideas or plan out like February or the rest of the quarter and get on some goals, and or even just keep with your goals, because I know a lot of us start in January, and mid-month we're kind of starting to feel a little slumpy and all that stuff. So I hope this finds you well, and I hope to see you soon.